What's up, everyone? It's your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How's everyone doing today? Sorry, a little late. Got shit doing today. Anyways, how is everyone today? Oh, I had a nice long weekend. I took the weekend off, so I didn't really work. So, you know, I got to enjoy myself for once instead of working my ass off. But, well, I'll probably change coming up this week. Well, probably not this weekend, next weekend. But anyways, how's everyone doing today? Oh man. All right. Got my delicious coffee. I'm awake-ish. So let's get to it. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Well, I don't really have an article for the first thing I'm going to talk about, but what I'm going to talk about is FNF Fresh and Fit being demonetized on YouTube. New COVID-19 liberals hating the working man's anthem, attack on 2A, and then Trump and the GOP debates. So the first thing we'll talk about is FNF being demonetized. We found out Friday. They did a show on Friday, and they were told how they've been banned or demonetized on the platform. So demonetization means they're not going to be able to receive any ad revenue, and they won't be able to get super chats on YouTube. Now, the reason they've been demonetized is getting known. But this is just a classic YouTube kick, anti-free speech and anything like that. I mean, it's what classically is. It's like, oh, we don't like what they're saying, so we're just gonna demonetize them, so they can't make any money, in hopes that they'll, stop doing what they're doing. So they've switched pretty much to be full time on Rumble. But yeah, that's what I mean. Basically, the only money they'll be getting is from Rumble. So if you're fans of them, you should go and support them on Rumble. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's there was no reason given on why they've been demonetized, but they are, which kind of sucks ass. I mean, I'm not monetized on YouTube at all, so but it would be nice. Be really nice to be monetized, but I'm not even close to there yet. But yeah, they discussed it on their show Friday. It got pretty emotional. Like, it's the first time you'll ever see Myron like actually start to tear up, just because, he's worked his ass off this entire time to try and get, build this thing. And when you see all your hard work get basically torched without an explanation, obviously, yeah, you're going to get very upset. So he was pretty upset about it, but they continued on, and it looks like they're going to keep doing their show regardless, which is good. That's what they should do. They should keep, even if they got to just go on Rumble. Rumble is, everyone keeps talking about how Rumble is taking a hit in the stock market and all that stuff. It is what it is. But I think Rumble is still, oh shit, that's not even plugged in. Rumble's still, a viable option, and as long as people continue to support it, I think it'll keep going. Well, this is a problem we deal with now, is with free speech. If people don't like what you say, they're gonna try and interrupt it. And it really sucks that that's what we have to deal with now. Is you can't say what you want to say. Just because people, will have that hurt feelings about it, which is stupid. But yeah, I mean, if you're fans of Fresh and Fit, definitely you should go to Rumble and subscribe to them. You can subscribe, pay $5, and to help them out and everything like that. It's $5. If you can afford it, you should definitely go and do it. But first, subscribe to me. I'm more important than Fresh and Fit, at least in my own mind. Let's see. So. There we go. All right. So. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. So, but yeah, if you want to find them on Rumble, it's the only thing you'll be able to find them on. I mean, they still doing the YouTube show and everything. Sorry, just need to get it. They're still doing the YouTube thing. So, I mean, they'll still post it on YouTube. They just don't get any money from it. But anyways, well, this is their channel. You can find them at rumble.com /C/Fresh and Fit. Yeah, they're locals, so support them there. But yeah, it just really sucks that they're being demonetized for what? Like what? Like YouTube demonetized people, and although they don't have to tell you why, I don't think there's anything that you can force them to tell you why. It would just be nice, to learn, like, hey, why have I been demonetized? Like, what's the reasoning behind my demonetization? Why am I getting punished for this, etc., etc., etc.? But they never really tell you, which is annoying. But yeah, that's basically the news on Fresh and Fit. Maybe today, when they do their show, we'll be able to find out more about what's going on. I'm willing to bet, there's a little bullshit. And of course, there's a bunch of people celebrating, yay, they're getting demonetized. And, they're sad. It's just sad people that, if they can't, if they don't like what you're saying, and they'll support whatever you, anything that'll punish you for whatever reason. Because they're sad, lonely people. But yeah. Maybe we'll find out why later on. Maybe they'll get remonetized. Who knows? But the funny thing is they don't really need. The funny thing is, they don't really need like the ad revenue. And what I mean by that is, like, they don't need it to make a living, because they're both very wealthy. Like, Myron has a lot of real estate investments, and so does I'm pretty sure Fresh does too. So they're already wealthy, and they could just just live off of that stuff. But it's something they enjoy doing. It's something they've worked hard to achieve. So they're passionate about it. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, but yeah, make sure you just go and support them on their channel. Show them some love, because we really should be against censorship in all forms. And the fact that we're not is really ridiculous. All right, next subject. If there's any update, I'll definitely, pop on and tell you what's up. So, just in time for the 2024 elections and all that stuff, scientists race to understand a highly mutated coronavirus variant spotted in 4 countries, including the U.S. So, we will see if we get, people believing this crap again and, all terrified of everything. We will see. But, it's very interesting that we're just seeing this right now, just before the 2024 election. It's going to start. There's a new variant. And, we remember what happened last time when there was COVID-19 and everyone was scared. Remember? I remember. You remember? I remember. Anyways, so but let's look into it. Let's see how, let's look into this. And this is CNN. So you know that this is a very reliable source, right? 100% reliable. Like the truth, nothing but the truth. There's no biases at all when CNN talks about anything, right? Nothing at all. But, anyways, a highly mutated new variant of the virus that causes COVID-19 has countries alert as scientists scramble to understand how far it has spread and how well our immunity will defend it against it. New variant called BA.26 or 0.2.86, nicknamed Pryla by variant hunters on social media, has more than 30 amino acid changes to its spike protein compared with its next closest ancestor. The BA.2 subvariant of Omicron, according to, that turned out to be a big deal too, Omicron, right? According to Dr. Jesse Bloom, who studied viral evolutions at the Fred Hutchins Cancer Center in Seattle. This makes it an evolutionary jump comparable in size to which originally gave rise to Omicron, which was a big deal, remember? Bloom posted on a lab website. The World Health Organization designated BA.2.86 a variant under monitoring on Thursday, a designation that encourages countries to track and report the sequences they find. A variant under monitoring that causes more severe diseases or evades existing vaccines or treatments can be upgraded to the WHO's list of variants, and that's a very reputable company right there, the WHO. List of variants of interest or variants of concern: XBB.1.5, XBB.1.16, and EG.5 are listed as variants of interest. WHO has not designated any variants of concern. Only 6 sequences of BA.2.86 has been reported in 4 countries, but epidemiologists, whatever, are worried they could represent many more because worldwide monitoring of variants has dropped off. The variant was spotted by scientists in Israel on Sunday. Since then, Denmark has reported 3 sequences. 2 more sequences were reported in the United States and the UK, respectively. It's unusual for corona to change so significantly and develop 30 new mutations. Last time we saw such a big change was when Omicron appeared, which, again, was a very big deal, right? We remember that. Said Morten Rasmussen, a senior researcher at the Staten Serum Institute, in the news statement on the variant. In a news statement on the variant. Three cases in Denmark are in people in different parts of the country who do not appear to have any contact with each other, according to the institute. SSI scientists stress that it's too early to say anything about the severity or contagiousness of the new variant. They are in the process of growing the virus variant to test it against the human antibodies. Dr. Mandy Cohen, director of the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, said Friday that the new variant shouldn't be cause for alarm. I think what we're seeing is our detection mechanisms that we put in place are working, right? She told CNN. We are more prepared than ever to detect and respond to changes in the COVID-19 virus. We are tracking this new lineage. It has mutations that do make it distinct from other lineages circulating. And then the question becomes, what does that mean? Cohen said. Is it going to increase? Are we going to see more cases, or is it going to fizzle out and not be a variant of concern? In a new threat assessment on the variant Friday, the UK Health Security Agency said that the fact that these sequences are in 4 different countries in people without recent travel history suggests that there is established international transmissions. The sequences have been found are very similar to each other, which may indicate that they emerged recently and are spread quickly. The report said. The UKHSA notes that it's low confidence in this assessment until more sequences become available. How long is okay? Well, I'm almost done. Cool. Researchers at the University of Michigan, the lab found that the sequence from the U.S. gave no information about the patient it came from, saying the case was being investigated by the state's health department. Of course, it was found in Michigan. In March, the White House quietly polled about a dozen COVID-19 experts who follow the evolution of coronavirus, asked about the likelihood of a highly mutated variant emerging within the next 2 years. Most experts peg the odds of that happening somewhere between 10 to 20%. That's pretty low. The XBB descendant, EG.5, is currently the dominant variant in U.S., causing an estimate 20% of new COVID-19 cases. The next most common variant, FL1.1.5.1, has grown quickly and has now caused about 13% of cases, according to the CDC variant tracker. Okay, so there we go. That's that. There we go. So it's interesting. A new variant looks like to be coming out, and they project it to have some significance in the next 2 years. I mean, it's a 10 to 20%. But who knows, right? Look, it's gonna go 1-2 ways. If it does happen and everything like that, majority of people aren't going to believe shit and not going to do anything, and then it ends up actually being for real because of the last COVID-19. So no one's going to believe shit, or people are going to again believe everything and then go crazy again, and then we saw what happened last election. I just find it interesting how all of a sudden Biden's poll numbers are shit. Trump's are really high. People are hating on Biden. I mean, he just took another vacation last week, even though he just finished up one. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can believe it or you can't. I'm very suspicious of it. I'll just say that I am very, very suspicious of it. Yeah, I mean, it's just suspicious to me, is all. I think everyone finds it extremely suspicious. You can't just, the problem is you just can't trust these people anymore because of the last time. Last time they made a big deal about it. It was not a big deal. Mostly the people who died were, people that had health problems and were old as fuck. And then they proposed, we'll shut down for 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks became, 2 months. 2 months became 2 years, et cetera, et cetera. We all remember what happened. So, I mean, and they made a big deal and try to make all this, hoopla over death counts. And then they count like people who died with COVID in their system as death by COVID-19. Instead of death with COVID-19, it was death from COVID-19. So the numbers were highly inflated. So, if this becomes a big deal, there's a good, more than likely chance that it's going to be highly, people are going to be highly skeptical of it. And as well, they should. I mean, you just can't really trust what they're going to say just because of what happened last time. I mean, it's a legitimate concern for people who saw what happened last year and be like, yeah, no, I'm not going for it. I mean, there's companies now that are just rehiring the people they fired over this vaccine crap. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. But I mean, look, if you end up being concerned about this stuff, don't be surprised when there's not people who do, because of the shit they pulled last year. So you can always blame what happened. You know, whatever happens in the next 2 years, as this becomes a big deal, which it probably will, regardless. You can't blame people for being skeptical and not really caring, because you know this was the same shit they pulled last year, and then people were like, "Well, we're sick of this shit." All right. So moving on, next subject. All right. So last week I did a video on what I call the working man's theme song. The working man's theme song. The song is called "Rich Men North of Richmond." Hits number 1 on Apple charts. He struck a chord with America, and he soars above, you know, adjacent Aldean, other country artists, as media labels it right wing. He also hit above Taylor Swift, and you can't go above T Swizzle. But yeah, I call this the the working man's theme song, because that's really how it, you know, comes across. I mean, if you actually listen to the damn song, and you know, and if you've ever been a working man who, you know, works his ass off and all that stuff, and don't feel appreciated at your work and everything, then you really identify with this song. And then you got, you know, people like Stinko made fun of it, and you know, he comes back and he's like, "It's just a joke, people. It's just a joke. Why are you so serious?" Well, they're serious about it because they identify with it. They understand what it is like to, you know, work your ass off and just be unappreciated by your bosses, by everyone. Like it's you know, it's very common, and you would think someone like Sneeko would actually understand and identify with this song, because it's something he basically preaches on a daily basis. Sorry, scratch my arm. But no, you chose to make fun of it, and then, you know, you try to cover it by saying, "Oh, you know, it's just jokes, people." Or can you not joke anymore? Well, yeah, you can joke all you want, but like, if you know, if you basically preach about it every day, preach about something every day, which, you know, he basically preaches exactly what the Richmond North of Richmond song is about. It's something he preaches every day. But if you preach about something every day and then you go and it's, you know, make fun of it just because it's some white guy that's a redneck, people are gonna call you out on it, and you know, they're gonna have something to say. And and then like Hansanabi, whatever the fuck that guy is, the guy who, like, you know, hangs out with Ethan Klein and like attacks everyone. He made fun of it too. He had some weird laugh too. It's like, oh, or some shit like that. I saw a video of that. I didn't really watch his shit, but you know, you see the people making fun of the song and everything like that. And I've been telling people, this song's the litmus test. If you see someone making fun of it, 9 out of 10 times they've never been an actual hardworking person, like someone that, you know, this song, you know, working hard and, you know, living paycheck to paycheck and all that bullshit. Like, they've never been that type of person if they hear this song and they don't actually identify with it. Anyways, back to what the topic is instead of my ranting. Let's get on to it. Many liberal media outlets appear to be out of touch with Americans after labeling viral country song "Richmond North of Richmond" a right-wing conservative anthem. It's a working man's anthem. I don't agree. I mean, unless you only think right-wings and conservatives are working men, I don't agree that it's a right-wing conservative anthem. I think it's a working man's anthem. Oh, my coffee's good today. But I don't, you know, if you hear this song and you just think it's right-wing and conservative, then, you know, I guess if those are the, you know, people you think of being working men, then I guess so. But I don't think only right-wing conservatives are working men. This is a working man's anthem. It's not conservative. It's not a right-wing. It's a working man. Regardless of your political ideologies, if you hear this song and identify with it, it's because you're a working man. I know most leftists aren't really working people, but I'm sure there's a few out there. Okay. Despite the labels, the viral song has topped the Apple Music charts, even surpassing country singers Jason Aldean's hit "Try That in a Small Town." According to the media, this is a viral right-wing anthem. It's offensive, it's fatphobic, it's conservative, controversial, it's championed by the right, it's obscene, he punches down, I can go on, but I mean, how out of touch can you be? Well, fatphobic. See, I hate when people use that term. Fat. I mean, she's obviously, not like Kayleen McAney. She's obviously not, doesn't think it's actually fatphobic. She's just saying what liberals or leftists are saying. And I hate the term like fatphobic, homophobic, et cetera, all that stuff, because phobias are something you're afraid of. I don't think anyone's afraid of fat people. I mean, you just get a good jog going and you can escape them. I should know I am fat. So I hate this whole, fatphobic, transphobic, homophobic, all that stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with fear of. If you say something negative towards people, instantly you're labeled ex-phobic. Like, it's ridiculous. Anyways, I'm not getting distracted. Red-bearded high school dropout Oliver Anthony's song "Rich Men North of Richmond" has been viewed more than 21 million times on YouTube as of Friday afternoon, serving as both a screed against, I think it's supposed to mean creed, against Washington greed, and a lament of the working class ills like suicide, depression, despair, high taxation, and working long hours for bullshit pay. Oh yeah, this is something that went viral. Oliver Anthony says he turned down $8 million offers since going viral. Nothing special about me. Many immediately resonated with Anthony's song and the sentiment he shared while strumming his guitar. Some fans even shared personal stories of what the song meant to them. One person responded to Radio WV's video saying, "I'm a 39-old Iraq veteran, construction worker, struggling like a dog to take care of 2 kids and keep a farm going when I'm not working 11 hours. This hit so hard today, I had to stop my old Peterbilt and tear up. Preach, brother." Another person called the song an anthem for 80 plus million Americans who have been smeared, ignored, mocked, slandered, and robbed by their government. One of the reasons he said he wrote the song was not for fame, not for glory, but he was feeling a sense of mental illness, depression, anxiety because of the state of our economy. And as so many Americans resonate with that, the Fox News medical contributor Dr. Janet Nishwhite said on Outnumbers Friday, that's why he shot up to number 1, because he understood and acknowledged the pain, the suffering, and the struggling that so many Americans are dealing with on a daily basis. He's a voice for all of those who aren't able to express what they're feeling, what they're going through, and being able to say we need to change now. Luckily for him, his spiral has turned into art that is so authentic, and people really, really identify with what he's saying because he lived it. Fox News Kennedy said. Fox Business Dagan McDowell added that the song resonated with her even more because she was born and raised near where Anthony is from. She noted that the music, even more than the lyrics, impact her. What connects with folks, for me, it's not the lyrics, but it's the actual music. Okay, I'll have something to say about that in a second. Man playing a resonator guitar. It can also be played like a slide or dobro, she said. Added that the song did not that the Aldean song did not resonate with her in the same way. Okay, whatever. When he says living in a new world with an old soul, the truth of those words are the music that he's playing is the music born on front porches and born in churches up in the mountains, up in the hollers, and it's not made by some big machine down in Nashville being shoved down people's throats. So go listen to Doc Watson, go listen to Bill Monroe, go listen to Ricky Skaggs, and you will know why this man is connecting with you. I slightly disagree with right here. The connects with folks for me is not the lyrics, but it's the actual music. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I don't disagree. I guess with some people, it might be the actual music. It reminds you, like, something you listen to. I even said, this isn't like, this is old country, with soul in it. So I actually agree with it that but I also think it's also the lyrics as well. Back. I think it's a combination of the actual music and the lyrics too that really hit people. She's probably right. With some folks, it might be just the music itself, but I think the lyrics also, speak far more than the actual music itself. But I agree. Yeah, the way he sang it, the song itself, it's old country. Country with soul, what country used to be. So I retract. I agree with this. McAney said the move by liberal media outlets like Rolling Stone, Forbes, and ABC to label the song as right-wing resembles attitudes ahead of the 2016 election. You'll remember the carrier workers who lost their job. A man in corporate suit stood up and he said to them, the best way to stay competitive and protect the business for the long term is to move productions from India and Indianapolis to Mexico. The video went viral. You just see the absolute horror on the faces of these employees. And amazingly, one of the only Republicans to ever mention it was Donald Trump, and specifically the carrier workers. And on the Democrat side, it wasn't Hillary Clinton talking about the carrier workers. It was Bernie Sanders. Both hit the same note, and I think the sentiment is alive and well today. Hudson Institute senior fellow Jeremy Hunt added similarly that the progressive politicians should be paying attention to the response from Americans rather than the liberal media, leftist media. A lot of these kind of progressive politicians should be paying attention and trying to understand what's going on in this cultural moment. Why are people so upset and willing to listen and see what made it so go viral? Hunt even points out to remixes and shares of the song across social media, connecting different people for different walks of life. When you have people coming together, multiracial, working class coalition people coming together, anyone who's worth their salt in politics, you will need to be listening and saying, look, we need a government and politician to respond to that and respond to the cultural moment. So there we are. I don't know why that made me go so far down. So there we go. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, like I talked about in my video, it's a good song just because, if you've ever been a working person, you know exactly what he's talking about. You can feel what he's saying. You identify so much with it. Like I said, I think it's a combination between the lyrics and the music itself. You hear the music and you just feel it. If you've ever struggled with any of this stuff, but yeah, that's what you should be doing, or not what you should be doing, but that's just what it is. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I did a whole video on this. I talked about it. It's a really good song. I really like it. But yeah, but haters gonna hate, right? Like Keith Swizzle says. But I don't get why liberals are hating on it so much. I don't know why they're calling it a right-wing thing. Are only right-wing people working their asses off? I thought other, people would be working, but maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Now, it is that time, people. It is that time. What time is it? Well, I'll show you what time it is. It's time to talk about coffee brand coffee. Yeah, that's right, coffee brand coffee. Wonderful company. It has delicious coffees. They have, the classics. Light to dark roast, some Ethiopian light roast. Apparently makes a difference. They got bourbon flavor, double caffeinated. But my personal favorite is right here, French toast flavored coffee. Delicious. I just ordered another thing. It's going to come in a couple days. Cannot wait. I love this coffee. But Coffee Brand Coffee is the best coffee I've had. But they don't just sell coffee. They got tea as well. Classics, oolong, organic, Earl, gunpowder. But for those British Americans, apple pie and biscotti. Oolong are some other various coffees. And then, fall is coming. It's about to get a little colder. And you know what that means for the people that, just don't need some caffeine, but, just need some nice, delicious cocoa. You need some delicious cocoa? Well, come to Coffee Brand Coffee because they got 3 types of cocoa here. You got velvet, rich caramel, and marshmallow. Delicious. I haven't yet to try some. Eventually, I will get some, especially since it's coming into the winter season and I need my cocoa. And then if you need some snacking, you got in the snacking mood, got a variety of nuts and saltwater taffy. Yeah, really try that. You got K-Cups and cold brew as well if you're interested in that stuff as well. But yeah, this is Coffee Brand Coffee. This is a coffee company I use regularly. They have just a variety of different coffee choices. It's kind of amazing how many they got. But the important thing is it's hand roasted. Now, what do I mean? Or it's not hand roasted. It's roasted at to order, meaning they don't roast it until you order it. And when you order it, that's when they'll roast it. So you'll get it as fresh as you could possibly get it without doing it yourself or going to a store that roasts per order. I don't know how many of them are out there, but it's as fresh as you could possibly get when you order it. And that's very unique. It's got like 4,000 people. 31 plus reviews. All a good amount of them are more than likely 5 stars. Not all of them, of course. It's impossible to have 100% 5 stars, but it's possible. Yeah. So general orders from 18 to 20 bucks I see for the majority, which isn't too bad. Plus shipping, of course. But yeah, if you're interested in Coffee Brand Coffee, then use this code right here. That's my referral link. You get me, a little bit of that action, a little bit of that. It helps me out. I get a little, I'm getting paid for this, but don't worry, I wouldn't be advertising for this if I didn't actually like it. Like, I'm not. Look, I love money. Do not get me wrong. 100% love money, and I'm a hoe. I'm a money hoe. I will do what I can for money, but I won't advertise for something I don't actually enjoy. I'm not that type of person. If I don't like it, I'm not going to advertise for it. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so if you like Coffee Brand, if you want to try Coffee Brand Coffee, then use that referral link like that right there. Sorry. And then you could also use this coupon code GHOST as well. Get both of them will give you 5%, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, 5% off. Now, if you do a subscription, that gives you 10% off, and that will negate the 5% off that you get. So that's just an FYI, just for your information. But yeah. Again, use that referral link that I just showed. I'll show it one more time. This is the referral link right there. Use coupon code GHOST and check out Coffee Brand Coffee. You will not be disappointed, I promise. All right, back to my videos. This is all about me. All right, so 2A's being attacked, shockingly. President, Biden, the lazy president who's been on more vacations than doing anything actual. tweeted out, yes, there's a right to bear arms, but our kids and educators also have the right to live freely without fearing for their lives in a classroom. It's time for Congress to pass common sense gun safety laws. So he's like, we want all our kids to have the freedom to learn to read and write instead of learning how to duck and cover. He tweeted this. Here's Donut. Donut operator. There's a right for them to put you into a nursing home, you generic fuck. So these are all pretty much all the people conversing. Here's this guy. I don't know if he's actually being serious. Probably is because he's a moron. All right. Now, here's the problem with Biden's tweet. I know there's so many all the time that he has a problem with, but here's the problem. Gun safety laws don't do shit for these people at all. Gun safety laws don't really do much, honestly. Like, if you really think about it, gun safety laws really don't do diddly for a lot of this shit. We got a bunch of gun control, gun safety laws, and guess what? They don't work. People still go out and illegally purchase firearms and do harms. But here's the thing. Sorry, I had one of those sneezes where it's like on the tip of your nose and you don't want to sneeze, but it won't happen. But here's the thing, especially when it comes to schools and classrooms and whatnot. People who go and shoot up the schools generally go to schools because they generally are gun-free zones, and they know that no one's going to do shit. Like, what I mean by that is there's no armed security, there's no resource officer, none of that. There's no one there with a gun that in that moment when it's happening will, prevent them from doing anything. That's why they specifically go for schools. So passing gun safety laws won't do shit to protect people in the classroom. Like, it just doesn't work. It never works. I mean, schools are already gun safety zones or gun-free zones, and they still have high mass shooting rates. Why? Because no one has a gun at the school that can defend these people. Teachers are being forced to, like, if they end up trying to defend their students, going hand-to-hand with a person, and it doesn't normally end well. That's why I'm like so pro, let educators, carry guns. I don't think we should force people, teachers to carry guns if they don't really want to. But they should have the opportunity. They should have the choice to, like, if they're like, hey, if you'd like, you can start carrying your firearms. We do require, a certification or some stuff like that if you want to carry at school. But if you want to, then, these are the requirements to be able to do it, that we can legally let you do. And, if people want to do it, let them do it. But no gun safety law, except not even an outright ban would do anything. Like, no safety law will protect people like ever. And people are like, well, we make it a little bit harder. Look, we have so many gun restrictions that it's ridiculous. Like, in Chicago, the city with like the highest amount of gun restrictions, there's still shootings every day. And I know what people say, oh, they go into the surrounding states, get guns that way. Well, then the surrounding cities of Chicago should have a very high gun rate, right? They don't. They really don't. So the fact that Chicago itself has strict gun laws, and have a high rate of gun violence, and again, and another thing, gun violence incorporates everything, like anything, basically any violence done with a gun. And you know what else counts as violence done with a gun? Self-defense, suicides, accidents. So let's be honest. So just be 100% accurate. And if you look in the surrounding cities, they don't have as much gun violence. It's only in the state of Chicago. So there's far more things. There's a bigger reason than just the guns why there's high gun violence. violence. But yeah, so any of this, this bullshit past common sense gun safety laws. No, look, he's just putting up, making it sound gun safety instead of gun control. It's gun control laws. He wants more gun control laws. And why does he want more gun control laws? Well, because if you make the if you make the people more reliant on you for protection, they're less likely to rise up. Just my opinion. All right, here we go. The proposed 28th Amendment. Now, if you remember a little bit back in June, I talked about Gavin Newsom wanting to introduce a new amendment. Hold on. There it is. All right, hold on. All right. If you remember, back in June, I talked about Gavin Newsom wanting to introduce the 28th Amendment, and apparently it's named the Right to Safety Amendment. And it just was officially introduced to the legislation, the California legislation this week. And what is the 28th Amendment? Well, as you can see, sorry. It would create stricter gun laws that wouldn't be enforced on a national level to reduce gun violence. It wouldn't do shit. It's exactly the same talking points that Democrats always use when talking about, gun control. And none of it does shit. All right. But some local gun owners say they don't believe this is the answer. It's not. Dustin Pitcher owns Dirty Birds Guns and Ammo, a Bakersfield gun store. Pitcher said drug use and mental health issues are bigger issues that contribute to violence, not guns. This is 100% true. And again, let us say this again. Reduce gun violence. Now, gun violence includes murder. Yes, absolutely. It includes murder, homicides, etc., etc. But it also includes suicides. Again, remember how to do suicides, self-defense, accidentals. All right, that other thing. And self-defense, suicides make up the vast majority of the gun violence. It's gang shootings. So those make up the mass majority of this whole gun violence thing. So, I mean, they use gun violence to try, dress it up, but they don't, they rarely, they always conveniently not mention that gun violence includes self-defense and suicides, which most people, let's be honest, most normal people would hear gun violence and instantly would not think of suicides or self-defense. No one thinks, you hear gun violence, you don't think of suicides or self-defense. So they leave out like a good portion of that. All right, people who are committed to violence they'll find a method to do violence. If they got access to a gun, they'll take it. If they got access to the gun, they'll take a car, they'll drive it into people, they'll grab a knife, said Pitcher. He also said it will only make it harder for people who feel the need a gun. God damn, it's fucking right. Who feel the need a gun. God damn it, I can't even. For protection to access it. And the focus, and believes the focus would instead be on enforcing laws that already exist. That's true. What you do is make sure the criminals who have possession of firearms illegally, who are using guns in commission of crimes, that they not have any plea deals where those charges are dismissed or being made way more lenient than they otherwise should be. That's actually fairly true. Okay. So in June, Governor Governor Gavin Newsom proposed the 20th Amendment. I'll break down how all these would not work or are dumb and would not work. Proposed a 20th Amendment that would mandate universal background checks, raise the minimum age to buy a gun from 18 to 21, institute a waiting period for all gun purchases, and ban assault rifles for civilians. All right, let's break down these points. Mandate universal background checks. Now, what they mean by that is private sales, basically. They want you to do a background check during private sales. Now, what that would mean. What would that mean? Well, that would require a gun registry, because how would you know if someone privately sold a firearm to someone else without doing a background check or anything like that? You would need a gun registry, because then you'd be able to, that'd be the only way to enforce this. There'd be no way to enforce a universal background check without a gun registry. So without saying it out loud, they also want a gun registry, because it's the only way to enforce a universal background check when it comes to private sales. Raise the minimum age to buy a gun from 18 to 21. So fuck 18, 19, 20-year-olds who want to defend themselves with a gun because they live in a shitty neighborhood where there's a lot of violence. A girl had a domestic violence and she wants to protect herself. A girl, maybe got raped and wants to get a gun to prevent it from happening again. Small dudes, scared because people have been breaking into people's houses. All this stuff. Okay, 18 and 21. Yeah, and that would also affect all those 18 and 21 criminals in the gangs that have most of the gun violence, that cause a lot of the gun violence. That prevent them from having a gun, right? Institute a waiting period for all gun purchases. Wouldn't do shit. If someone wants to do violence with a gun, then it's not going to just end up being over with. Like, even if you want to use the situation of someone, that wants to do, like, gets angry, wants to go buy a gun, go shoot a person. If they don't end up buying a gun, they'll probably just use a different method, running them over, beating the shit out of them, stabbing them, etc. Ban assault rifles for civilians. All right, what do assault rifles mean? Generally, they're talking about AR-15s, the most widely used and widely renowned thing that is used for self-defense, because it is easy, simple, and effective to use. You can be an average, you can be a shit shooter, but if you get an AR-15, you can be an average shooter. And why should civilians not be allowed access to these firearms? Why? Because they look scary? That's basically their reasoning. It looks real scary, so we shouldn't it means it's scary. We're really scared of it. Okay. So there we go. So now that's why none of this is, all these bullshit wouldn't do shit. This week's it was introduced as a joint resolution in the state legislature. It means that both houses of the state legislatures have come together to put together a resolution saying that there is interest in moving forward on a national level. Now, California, what does this mean? Well, it means your Republicans are dumbass fucking people and you should vote them out. But you won't, because California's a shitty place. So there you go. That's what it tells you. He also said, Professor Ian Anderson apparently said this shit. He also said the first step in creating a new amendment and is one of the two different ways that this is just the very first step in creating a new amendment is one of the two different ways that something can become an amendment. This would be the first state to ever really call for something like this. And so when we call for a convention, according to the Constitution process, at least 2/3 of states have to agree to come together for the propose of the amendment the Constitution. Proposal also stated it will leave the Second Amendment intact. President of the Greater Bakersfield Republican Assembly, Greg Peroner, said he just doesn't think it's realistic. You can't, on one hand, say that you're supporting the Second Amendment, and on the other hand, propose an amendment to effectively neuter the Second Amendment. He said he thinks it may move forward, but it won't ever be added to the Constitution as a new amendment. No, it won't. There's like 2/3 of states to like agree on this. No, it's not gonna be happening. But I will reiterate what I said last time I did a video on this is the correct way when it comes to wanting to enact laws against an amendment. This is the correct way to do it, is to propose an additional amendment. So this is the correct way to do it. It's just not going to work, but it's the correct way to go about it. People will look at it and say this is maybe a good idea, but when you read the Second Amendment, you'll read the proposal. You'll see you'll see. Wait a minute. This proposal is infringing on my right to keep and bear arms, so it should be shut down just for that. Anderson said, with national level policies, it'll be difficult to enforce the rules if it were to become an amendment, such as common sense gun laws, because each state has different standards. Both Pernier and Pitcher believe this is a political stunt by the governor as the 2024 presidential election looms ahead. Yeah, of course it's a stunt. Like what? You do not think this is a stunt? Of course it's a stunt. Anderson said, although he doesn't think this proposed amendment will go far, he does believe there's a chance some select items for this amendment could move forward as the election approaches. Okay, well, I guess I'd have to look at the proposed amendment. No, this amendment's never going to get any traction. 2/3 of states is really hard. It's really, really hard. And a vast majority of people don't actually, want gun control. All right, last but certainly not least. Trump confirms he will skip the first GOP debate and maybe future ones as well. Now, I think this is a bad idea. I really do. But let's see his reasoning. He may have good reasons. Donald Trump confirmed Sunday that he will skip the first Republican presidential primary debate Wednesday and indicated he may not attend future ones either. The former president wrote on his Truth social media platform that polling show him leading in the Republican primary field by such a wide margin that he doesn't need to stand alongside his rivals on the debate stage. The public knows who I am and what a successful presidency I had, Trump wrote. I will therefore not be doing the debates. Now, this is a terrible idea. Yes, people know who you are, but what people really want to see from you, President Trump, is you escorting your opponents. They want to see you, come up with funny nicknames, talk about what your plans are moving forward, etc., etc. That's what people want to see you. So just because you're ahead in the polls, just because people know you are, doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing the debates. I think this is a terrible idea. I think you should definitely be doing the debates because people want to see this. They want to see Trump, standing on stage, having one of those viral moments, like when he's making up nicknames for everyone, Sleepy Joe, all that stuff. But they're hoping for that debate, that viral moment, like in I know that wasn't a primary, but with the Hillary versus Donald Trump, where she's like, she's talking a bunch of crap, blah blah blah, and then you'd be like, because you'd be in jail, and it was just one of those viral moments. That's what they're wanting. So just because people know who you are, they're also hearing a bunch of bullshit from the leftist media about what you are. So you need to go back and defend yourself, talk about stuff. So I think this is a bad idea. I think you should definitely be doing the debates. Also, it should be more entertaining with him. It's going to be really boring without him, and it should be very, he should be in there and be that entertaining president candidate we all loved. Like, this is a bad idea. You should definitely be doing, debates. A source familiar with Trump thinking said the decision applies to only the first two debates, which are affiliated with Fox News and Fox Business. The source declined to rule out the possibility that Trump may change his mind. Co-moderators Martha McCallum and Brett Baer of Fox News will host the first Republican presidential primary debate Wednesday in Wisconsin. Fox Business will host the second debate at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute in Simi Valley, California, in late September. NBC News previously reported that Trump has made up his mind to forgo the first debate with his 2024 Republican rivals and instead looking to schedule a sit-down interview during the time with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Uh, nine candidates, including Trump, have qualified for the Wednesday debate stage, according to an NBC analyst of the Republican National Committee requirements to get on the stage. All right. So I'll probably tune into that. I'll probably do a video Thursday, maybe. But we'll see. We will see. Or knows, maybe I'll take the day off and do it, live. Do it live. But yeah, I think it's a bad idea. I think Trump should be going to all the debates. I think he should, doing that thing that we love watching him do, kicking ass, taking names, and all that stuff. So the fact that he's not, I think, is a very bad idea. This thing just keep every time I like. There we go. But yeah, I just think it's a bad idea. I really think he should be doing all the debates everywhere, getting his name out again, because all people have been seeing is the indictments and everything. So you just Anyways, I keep saying it, but yeah, he should be doing these debates 100%. All right. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Got nothing more. But yeah, make sure you check out Coffee Brand Coffee. Again, here's the referral link right there. Use that. Yeah, beautiful. But I also have, with me, of course. I'm also wonderful. Just joking. But yeah, make sure you check out my Rumble channel with Ghost. You can find you can use that code rumble.com / what is it? /C / with Ghost. So check me out there. I know I got on this channel I got enough people to have my own unique code on my With Ghost channel. So yes, I'm feeling very special. But yeah, that's on Rumble and on YouTube. Oh, I forgot to change this. I meant to be on Twitter today too. Oh well, I'll do it tomorrow. But yeah, I think I'll start trying to stream on Twitter as well. But we'll see. We will see. But then I have a second channel, and that's Gaming with Ghost. That's on Rumble and Kick. That's my link for my Rumble channel. There we go. Yeah. I need 3 more to get to that to get that unique code. So please check me out there and follow me on the Rumble. Check me out there. Sorry, I got distracted. Let's see what else. I think that's it. That's all I got. Oh yeah, and follow me on X at official WGhost. Check me out there. I hope you all have a good time. And yeah, make sure you check out my other videos and everything and follow me. Give me a like and everything like that. And come watch my live shows and send me some Rumble rants and give me some more money because I'm a hoe. I told you that, right? I'm a hoe. Anyways, I hope you have a good day. Peace out. See ya.